The 19th century Madame Helena Petrovna Blavatsky was born into a noble family in Ukraine. As a child, young Helena displayed a gift for clairvoyance as well as an interest in metaphysical phenomena. Years later, she traveled throughout Europe, the Middle East and India, studying with various teachers and Sufi saints. Following the guidance of an Indian yogi named Mahatma Maurya, Madame Blavatsky co-founded the Theosophical Society. Theosophy, meaning divine wisdom, refers to knowledge that comes through spiritual experience rather than intellectual understanding alone. The Theosophical Society is dedicated to uplifting humanity through a realization of the oneness of life and the wisdom underlying all religions. Madame Blavatsky wrote several important books on theosophy, including Isis Unveiled, The Secret Doctrine, The Key to Theosophy, and The Voice of the Silence. The Secret Doctrine, published in 1888, is considered the Bible of Theosophy and a source book of esoteric tradition. Although she was credited as being the author of the Secret Doctrine, Madame Blavatsky often expressed that she only conveyed the ancient wisdom that was passed on to her. The true authors of the work were her teachers, the Mahatmas, or great souls who were the guardians of the secret wisdom of the ages. Today, on Words of Wisdom, we invite you to join us for excerpts from the Days and Nights of Brahma from Madame Blavatsky's The Secret Doctrine. In Vedic scriptures, the days and nights of Brahma refer to major divisions of time in the universe. These extensive time periods are known as kalpas. Each day of Brahma or kalpa is followed by a night of equal length when all elements are dissolved or merged into their original primal form. When the cycle moves to the next day of Brahma, a great creative element is initiated once more. The Days and Nights of Brahma. This is the name given to the periods called Manvantaram, Manvantara, or between the Manus, and Pralaya, dissolution. One referring to the active periods of the universe, the other to its times of relative and complete rest according to whether they occur at the end of a day or an age, a life of Brahma. These periods, which follow each other in regular succession, are also called kalpas, small and great, the minor and the mahakalpa. Though, properly speaking, the mahakalpa is never a day but a whole life or age of Brahma, for it's said in the Brahma Vaivarta, chronologers compute a kalpa by the life of Brahma. Minor kalpas as samvarta, and the rest are numerous. In sober truth, they are infinite, as they have never had a commencement, namely, there never was a first kalpa, nor will there ever be a last one in eternity. One pararda, in the ordinary acceptation of this measure of time, or half of the existence of Brahma in the present Mahakalpa, has already expired. The last kalpa was the Padma, or that of the golden lotus, the present one being Varaha, the boar incarnation or avatar. By the scholar who studies the Hindu religion from the Puranas, one thing is to be especially noted. He must not take literally, and in one sense only, the statements therein found, since those which especially concern the Manvantaras or Kalpas have to be understood in their several references. So, for instance, these periods relate in the same language to both the great and the small periods, to Mahakalpas and to minor cycles. The Matsya or fish avatar happened before the Varaha or boar avatar, The allegories, therefore, must relate to both the Padma and the present Manvantara, and also to the minor cycles which took place since the reappearance of our chain of worlds and earth. And as the Matsaya avatar of Vishnu and Vaivasvata's deluge are correctly connected with an event that happened on our earth during this round, it is evident that while it may relate to pre-cosmic events in the sense of our cosmos or solar system, it has reference in our case to a distant geological period. Not even esoteric philosophy can claim to know, except by analogical inference, that which took place before the reappearance of our solar system and previous to the last Mahapralaya, great dissolution. But it teaches distinctly that after the first geological disturbance in the Earth's axis, which ended in the sweeping down to the bottom of the seas of the whole second continent, with its primeval races, of which successive Earths or continents, Atlantis was the fourth, there came another disturbance by the axis, resuming as rapidly its previous degree of inclination, when the earth was indeed raised once more out of the waters, and as above so it's below, and vice versa. There were gods on earth in those days, gods and not men, as we know them now, says the tradition. The computation of periods in exoteric Hinduism refers to both the great cosmic and the small terrestrial events and cataclysms, and the same may be shown for names. For instance, Yudhishthira, the first king of the Sesha, who opens the Kali Yuga era, which has to last 432,000 years, and actual king and man who lived 3,102 years BC, applies also, name and all, to the great deluge at the time of the first sinking of Atlantis. He is the Yudhishthira born on the mountain of the 100 Peaks at the extremity of the world beyond, which nobody can go, and immediately after the flood. We know of no flood 3,102 years BC, not even that of Noah, for agreeably with Judeo-Christian chronology, it took place 2,349 years BC. This relates to an esoteric division of time and a mystery explained elsewhere and may therefore be left aside for the present. Suffice to remark at this juncture that all the efforts of imagination of the Wilfords, Bentleys, and other would-be Oedipuses of esoteric Hindu chronology have sadly failed. No computation of either the four ages or the Manvantaras has ever been unriddled by our very learned Orientalists, who have therefore cut the golden knot by proclaiming the whole a figment of the Brahmanical brain. So be it, and may the great scholars rest in peace. Let us see, however, what were the three kinds of pralayas, dissolution, and what is the popular belief about them. For once it agrees with esotericism. Of the pralaya before which 14 manvantaras elapse, having over them as many presiding manus, and at whose close occurs the incidental or Brahma's dissolution, it is said in Vishnu Purana in condensed form that at the end of 1,000 periods of 4 ages, which complete a day of Brahma, the earth is almost exhausted. The eternal Ivaya Vishnu assumes then the character of Rudra, the destroyer Siva, and reunites all his creatures to himself. He enters the 7 rays of the sun and drinks up all the waters of the globe. He causes the moisture to evaporate, thus drying up the whole earth. Oceans and rivers, torrents and small streams are all exhaled. Thus, fed with abundant moisture, the 7 solar rays become 7 suns by dilation. and they finally set the world on fire. Hari, the destroyer of all things, who is the flame of time, Kalagni, finally consumes the earth. Then Rudra, becoming Janardana, breathes clouds and rain.
Plant-based meals are healthier for our children and will reduce our state's carbon footprint. The Honorable Adrian Nazarian, Veg Advocate.
Perceptive viewers, it's been a pleasure to have you with us today on Words of Wisdom.